Hey guys, welcome back to a very special video for me. As a massive Elder Scrolls fan, I decided to buy a massive box. I'm actually going to move the camera to get this whole thing on in frame. It's kind of, ridiculous. I hate to say it, but these little guys are going to have to go, because they're just going to take up too much space for today. Yes, we have the Shrines of the Nine Divines, collection. It's basically figures for each of the Elder Scrolls shrines, and we have a few extra things to go through today as well. But this is obviously the main feature, and the thing I'm excited about the most. So it actually does open up really nicely. It's not like some box inside of a box. Take off that layer, and on the inside we have each of the shrines, which I will be going through. Please none of you fall. Oh, and they have begun falling. Alright, well, let's do this a different way. So, of course, as a giant Elder Scrolls fan, it is my favorite series. I had to get these things. So, first off, my lighting is wrong. I'm stupid. Anyways, first off, we have the Shrine of Akatosh. This thing is actually really well done. I mean, considering it is probably one of the most detailed. I mean, it's basically almost like a pawn in chess right there in the center, with a sword going up into the dragon's mouth, which we can presume the dragon is Senor Akatosh. I assume nobody's ever said Senor Akatosh before, and I'm sorry for cursing humanity with that sentence, that phrase. So next up is the Shrine of Arkay, which I have to admit might be the most fragile one. As you can see, it only has that one little peg to actually hold the entire ball up. So there's no other connections around it. I could see that possibly breaking, but it is built really sturdy. These are actually pretty heavy. So it might actually hold up just fine. But the details on this are insane. These aren't just like printed on, by the way. It's actually like carved in. This is all textured. This is... God, I'm actually way too excited about this. These are done really well. Then, of course, we have the Shrine of Dibella, which is probably the most evil-looking one, if I'm being honest with you. All the spiky boys really makes you think of the Daedra, not so much the Aedra, but yeah, it's detailed really well, just like the others. You know, it's almost like a chalice, or almost like a bird bath, with just, you know, spikes coming out of it to spear the birds who are dumb enough to think that they can actually go sit on this thing. But I don't know, it looks really cool. I like that. Now we get to the super boring one, the Shrine of Julianos, which is literally just a fucking pyramid. Like, there's nothing else. There's a hole in the center, but there's nothing else to it. It's just a pyramid with some really neat designs cut into it. I guess if you're into the Egyptians, you might like Julianos's, his shrine, but it's really plain. This is one of the things, like, in-game, if you ever saw this, you probably didn't even realize it was a shrine. You probably just thought it was like a decoration. Then we got another fat boy. We have the Shrine of Kinnereth, which is just a really chunky... I'm trying to actually get my hands in here. Just a really chunky thing. I don't know what it's supposed to represent. You think with me being as big in Elder Scrolls as I am, I would know that. I also like that it looks really faded. Like, it's very much on purpose. It's not actually, you know, aged or anything. It just looks faded on the back, which gives it, you know, more detail, I suppose. I really like this one. Like, yeah, it's chunky. It's not as intricate as the others that we've seen so far, but it is, you know, oh well, it is nice and hollow, but it looks really nice. Then we have the one people know really well, which is Mara. Her icon is really, her shrine is really weird for being what she is. I mean, she's like the goddess, the Aedra of marriage and love and yada yada. And the face in the center doesn't really make you think of love, but it is really nice. I think I'm repeating myself a lot here. This is one of the ones I'm most excited for, even though I'm not a big, you know, Mara's my favorite Aedra. No, but like, you see this a lot in the game. There's a lot of temples to Mara, especially in Skyrim itself. And I believe a fair amount in Oblivion as well. And I don't know, I was just excited to actually have this, because you see it so much in-game. I guess you see Akatosh a lot as well. Of course, I get a phone call from an insurance company right there, but next we have the Shrine of Stendarr, which I believe that is supposed to be... I don't know what exactly this is supposed to be, because it's not the horn of Jargon Windcaller. It is supposed to be like a horn from Stendarr or something like that. I don't really know. but it looks neat. I think he's one of the Divines I know probably the least about. But it has, you know, an intricate design on the bottom. Of course, it's not like symmetrical, which I kind of like. It makes it look more flowy that way. And it comes with a little pedestal. Like I said, I have a couple more things to go through that are all Elder Scrolls related. So if you're into that kind of thing, feel free to stick around. But next we have, of course, the Shrine of Talos. As soon as it wants to focus on it. I'm on camera. I guess my camera was made by the elves because it does not want to show you Talos. So some of you guys might not even recognize this anymore. If you've played Skyrim and you haven't played much of, you know, Morrowind or Oblivion, you might not recognize it as much because of the gold-white concordate in game making Talos worship, you know, outlawed. You don't see many of the Shrine of Talos. Now you do see them, don't get me wrong, they do exist. But they're just not that common in Skyrim because, again, they're outlawed. You're not supposed to have one of these, so I'm committing a felony right now. But, okay, yeah, I like that. It's basically just like his sword being dug into stone. Talos, the human god. And our last one, which really isn't going to fit in frame that well, is Zenithar? I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name. He's one of the many divines. He's like the god of like farming and like hard work or something stupid like that. I don't remember. He's a very like peaceful god, a lot more than many of the others. I do like, and it's not going to show well on camera at all. His emblem is actually carved into there, and even in real life, it's really, really faint. Very hard to see, let alone on camera. So, I don't know. I think it's probably my least favorite one. Like, yeah, it's neat. It's an anvil. I wonder if anybody in the Elder Scrolls lore has ever, like, used one of his shrines and tried to use it as an actual anvil. Probably didn't go too well. But, you know, it's probably my least favorite one we've had so far, just because, like, the engraving in that is so hard to see. Maybe that's what it's like in lore, and so they did that on purpose, but nah, I don't know. It's also very Switchblade-like. But that is all 9 of the 9 Divine Shrines. So let's move on to something else that I am super excited for. Actually, we're going to do one other thing first. So I believe I'm going to use this in the intro. I don't remember. Anyways, I picked up Oblivion on PC. There's only one reason why I really bought this, because obviously I already own it on Steam because I modded this game a lot whenever I was younger. But I bought it on a disc format for one specific reason. And because I like having it, you know, as a collector's thing. Not only does it have the 2 standard discs in order to play the game, this is the 5-year anniversary edition, by the way. Like it says here, 5th anniversary. So it's not like, it's not like the original release, sadly. But on the upside, it does come with all the DLC, which I already own. And it comes with bonus materials, which actually contains, like, the making of the game and stuff like that. I might leave a link down below if I remember to, like, people who actually show, like, you know, what all is on that disc. I'm not going to do it myself because I don't want this video to be 3 hours long. But, yeah, I was excited about that. I got it for stupid cheap, too. I won it in an auction. And the last thing, for all of you card fans out there, you probably have heard of Elder Scrolls Legends, which is a TCGO. It's an online game that you can't get physically. So then how do I have this? Well, some of you guys might already know. I'm assuming most of you don't. At PAX, they actually made these cards. If I can even get this, look how crappy this is packaged, by the way, like the wrapping they used. This was Bethesda or ZeniMax, I suppose. It wasn't like, you know, whoever sold it to me that packaged it like that. I'm gonna have to use a knife on it. I really don't want to. I don't want to risk damaging the cards, but it is what it is. There we go. And these are actual physical cards for the Elder Scrolls Legends. Now, of course, the downside is they're not playable. They didn't produce enough cards for you to actually be able to play it. I did damage the back of that card, which makes me very upset. They're also a bit longer than usual playing cards. They're a lot taller. But they gave out these 5-pack cards that are just basically promotional. So here we actually have Miraak Dragonborn. And I believe, by the way, there are different packs. There are ones that had different cards. There's not just 5 cards. If you've played this game, this might actually be somewhat exciting to you. Here is the Wabbajack. That's freaking awesome. I'm super excited to have that on a card. Also, you can kind of make out me and my camera there. It's a little blurry as hell. I don't care for the foil on these, I'll say that. It makes them really dark and harder to read what you're actually seeing. We have a Blood Dragon. I don't think I've ever actually used this in the card game itself. Maybe I have, but there's our Blood Dragon. Blood Magic Lord. So this is just a vampire lord. I'm calling it Blood Magic Lord. It's a vampire lord, all right? That's what it is. He looks like Harkin, but not quite. And lastly, we have Torval Cook, which is okay, whatever. I would like to see some of these that aren't foil. Like, yeah, the foils are cool, but this is one of the cards that, like, you know, I think would be neat to see the actual artwork better as opposed to it being so shiny. Also, it's pretty miscut. You see how far over to the side this is? They clearly didn't have somebody like Wizards produce these, obviously. But yeah, these are really neat. Of course, Miraak is going to be, you know, one of the favorites for me, and of course the Wabbajack. The other ones are neat, but they're not as cool. But yes, these aren't actually usable because there are roles in game that don't work when applied to real life, because like it has to like search through the deck for certain things and stuff like that, and then you would have to reshuffle. But it doesn't work out the way that it should. There are certain things that you can't do in real life that you can do digitally. I would love for them to make an altered version where we can actually have physical cards. I would love to buy packs of these, maybe not where all the foils are that crazy, but I would love to buy actual packs of these, even if I don't play the game, you know, just for the sake of collecting. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave the video a like, subscribe down below. I would love to do more Elder Scrolls stuff, but it's kind of hard to do as Skyrim merchandise is stupid expensive. It is really hard to find in the first place, but whenever you do, even on Bethesda's website, the keychains and like lanyards are like $20, $30, $40. It's ridiculous. So Elder Scrolls merch is kind of hard to get my hands on. I got really lucky on this one. Even then, this thing sold for a lot at retail. I don't remember the exact value, but I see people trying to sell this thing for anywhere between 60 and like 120. It's kind of nuts. But yeah, hopefully I will see y'all next time. Goodbye.